Hi, everybody. My name is Arne Venkang, and I love sharing wisdom that feels very powerful to me. And the topic of the day is about desires. Having desires is not wrong. What matters is the intention behind them. What matters is how are they channeled. So, a desire for pleasure, a desire for having a beautiful lifestyle, a desire for having money, a desire for having a romantic relationship or soulmate relationship, a desire to be loved, to be seen, to be admired, to be respected, a desire for approval, a desire for what we can't have, a desire to be liked and to be powerful or known or famous. They are not wrong desires. Often it really comes from a pure place. We want to be like God. So the key is to ensure they arise from a pure and healed place, that the sacred place within us. So the real question is, how are they channeled? Are they channeled from a place of wholeness within us or a place of emptiness and lack and scarcity? So it's okay to want these things because ultimately, who do we want to be like God? God has all of these things, but God does not draw from a place of lack. God does not draw from emptiness. God does not draw from, I need this person's approval because if I have this person's approval, then I will feel secure about myself. Then I will feel safe. Then I'll feel loved. Then I'll feel good enough. That is not how God operates. That's not how God thinks. So that must be changed. The limiting beliefs about that external thing will make us feel whole, that is what must be changed. That is what must be healed. So the mindset shift must be that we are worthy of everything, that we are worthy already because we are intrinsically good, because we have been created by the Creator and we are a reflection of Him. So that must be that we are perfect and good exactly the way we are, even with all of our imperfections. That must that is the mindset shift that must be. And that we are worthy of receiving blessings and not only worthy of when we have blessings. Let me repeat it. The mindset shift must be we are worthy of receiving blessings, not worthy because of certain blessings. Not worthy because I have approval. Not worthy because I have money. Not be respected because I have money. Not be feel loved only because I have money. Not feel appreciation for myself if I have money only, or if I'm successful, or if I'm performing or outperforming everybody. The mindset shift is that I am worthy regardless if I have certain things going on for me or not. I am worthy. I am worthy regardless. That is a mindset shift that we should all have. Because otherwise, you limit your soul. You limit your soul and you build a foundation onto sand. You build a sandcastle. And that sandcastle just needs one big blow, one big gust of wind, and it falls. If you build your confidence and your net worth is your self worth, and you build your confidence on how much money you have, if that money falls tomorrow, you have nothing to hold on to. No intrinsic inner self worth. Then everything is gone and you feel empty. You feel like you are not good enough. And that's not how we were designed to be. That's not what is meant for us. That's not why we came to this world. You think our big, divine, beautiful soul came into this world and said, you know what? I came here to make money, and only if I make money, I'm worthy. You think our soul would think that? You think the creator, God, would think that? You think that God would settle for a toxic relationship and only because that toxic relationship is sustaining them in a certain way, sustaining him by giving him approval about himself, or giving, material things, or giving food, cooking for them. You think God would settle for a toxic relationship for because that person sometimes is nice? Well, he's not that bad. That person is not that bad. Sometimes they, like, 10% of the time they really show up for me, and they really care, and they really ask about my day, and and oh my God, I actually, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. How often deep down do we say that? It's not that bad. Yes, it is that bad. Why settle for less? We are meant to have everything and beautiful fulfillment in our relationship, having a healthy relationship. You think God, who has put you into this world, would want you to suffer? Would want you to settle for less? No, definitely not. But sometimes certain situations are sent for you to elevate and to see that you are worthy. Sometimes certain toxic people get sent your way in order for you to truly realize, no, I put boundaries. I protect what is mine, and my energy can be. And then you choose for yourself. But it's not to be punishing you, but it's more to awaken already what's inside of you. God is just trying to awaken your desires of your soul. Because sometimes desires arise from the ego, but we want desires from the soul. Desire from the soul is, I want a healthy relationship because it builds me. And desire from the ego just thinks, I want love. I need love. Okay, where can I get it? Okay, this person gives me 10%. Okay, you know what? Let's settle for that because I have nowhere else to look. I have nowhere else to, you know what? This person, yeah. But you know what? Let's do this then. let's make sure. Yeah, let's get it over with. This is just an example. But the moral of the story is, why settle for less if God has designed the most beautiful life for us, and it's waiting for us, it's calling, and our highest destiny is awaiting for us. But how are we ever going to get there? That's by practicing our worthiness. You must, you know, this connecting to the desires of your soul comes from an inner wholeness. And that's a practice. And then it's like a self love and a self care. You put out boundaries because you truly care. If you say yes to everybody, you give out way too much energy and leave no energy for yourself. So you must have certain boundaries. I'm not saying don't help this person, be egoistic and never, never, help somebody else out. I'm not saying that. But first root within yourself and then you can give to others. So the key is anytime you feel needy of something, remember yourself that it already exists within this inner peace. That is what we're searching for. Often it is expressed in such ways where we are trying to chase things outside of us, chase approval, chase acceptance from other people, or chase to be in a certain friend group or to be a certain way. Chase people's attention. Because what are we actually searching for? What are we actually chasing? The security. The security that God has. We are chasing things to be secure, to be safe. And that safety already exists within us. It isn't something that somebody else can give to you. It is truly that safety already exists within you. So that is what we're searching for. If that is what I'm searching for, okay, then maybe I can let go of trying to have this person's approval. Let's first start with the person in the mirror and get that guy's approval, Get that girl her approval if you're a girl. Let's first start with the person in the mirror. And then if you start with that person, with you, with yourself, with loving yourself, with practicing self love, you won't ever feel the need to have external things. You won't ever feel the need to have other people's approval or chase their love. You won't ever feel the need to be respected, even. You can just be humiliated all day and just remember that you're very worthy of everything. And then blessings come. You know, it we must draw blessings from a place of I want, but I don't need. I want this beautiful miracle to happen. I want to have a career change. I want to make a certain amount of money. I want to have a beautiful friendship. I want a beautiful community. I want these things, and that's okay to want because why? God has all of these things, and we ultimately want to be like Him. The universe, however you might call it. But the universe is resourceful. We ultimately want to be resourceful. We want to be powerful. And the only way we can do that and have actual real peace is by connecting to that innermost pure part of ourself and healing our self image. Because often, who is our biggest critic, our biggest hater? Ourself. We are. At least in my situation, I know that if somebody else would talk to me in the way that I sometimes do towards myself, and I catch myself talking to myself, I would never be friends with that person. I would say, okay, you whatever you say, but whatever you want, but me, I protect myself and my energy. But we are accepting this negative self-talk all day long. And how exhausting must that be for the soul? How exhausting must that be for the body? Because you can, if you have a thought and that thought just keeps on repeating, your body starts adapting to it and starts seeing that as a truth, although it's not at all true. But if we don't practice with trying to change the thought patterns, and that can really start with hugging yourself and action, throwing yourself off, give yourself a high five in the mirror. You have to break these patterns, otherwise, you won't ever get out of this I am not worthy of blessings state of mind. You won't get out of that mindset. So you practice self-love. It's not gonna be from one day to another. It's gonna take some time, a lifetime maybe. But little by little, you start protecting yourself in beautiful ways, and if you start appreciating little wins. Oh, you know what? Today I said beautiful affirmations in the mirror. I said, I am worthy. I believe that I'm worthy. I believe that I'm allowed to receive the blessings of the universe. I believe that I am good enough. I believe, regardless if this person says something about me, I'll think towards myself, I'll just feel, is that true? No. Okay. You know, all of these things, it starts with how do we talk towards ourselves. That will determine how much we are open to receive from the universe. That will determine our whole destiny. Because even us being negative towards people is already the effect of our self talk. You know, often it is true that certain actions have a true influence on the outcomes in your destiny. So you can switch up a destiny by spreading out positive energy, or you can lower your destiny by being angry, by being moody, being a victim, blaming everyone and this and that. And just, it's like you can elevate your frequency by being positive or lower your frequency. Same way. In this elevation, you attract more blessings. In this downgrade, you make your soul smaller. You disconnect, not your soul smaller necessarily, but you make the container of blessings less big. You know, it's like you have a bank account of blessings and you spend you spend a few of that bank account, you spend money, a few blessings of that bank account towards negative things, and you infuse then more negative things in your life. You, I don't know how to exactly to find the right words. It's like you have this bank account of light, and that is your soul, and that is how much now in this moment your soul. No, you have this bank account. Yeah. Okay. Let me do this one. You have this bank account, but that is not your soul. Your soul is perfectly good and internal perfect, already has everything. But you still have this bank account in which you can draw blessings into. You can be a channel of light for. And you can make this bank account bigger by and expanding by, by being kind, spreading positive energy. But the moment you start being negative, start spreading and destroying people, using that energy to destroy, you make this bank account smaller. So less blessings can come in. You make this container smaller. It's like from a big pool of water, you make a little cup. I don't if that's all right. That's a great explanation. So, but the way we act is already the effect of our self-talk. That was the point that I was trying to make. Because people would never be disrespectful towards you if they felt good about themselves. If somebody feels good about themselves, they are also always so social, wanting to see people win. If people have money, somebody who truly feels abundant wants to learn other people too how they can make money. Or, it's just you are in a state of abundance and you want to share. So if we have positive self-talk, we share that positivity with the world. And ultimately that elevates our destiny. Then we can draw more blessings. So you attract things based on how worthy you believe you are. But beforehand, we must make sure our desires are coming from a pure place, are coming from a healed place. Because otherwise, the blessings won't be granted to you. And even if they would be granted to you, then they wouldn't last. Something that truly lasts is when it comes from a true, deeply rooted abundance feeling, you know? A deep connection with self. Otherwise, the blessing won't ever feel good enough. And if you have one, you want two. And if you have two, you want four. If you have four, you want eight. And so forth. So it will never be good enough, never fulfilling enough if we, you know, base and rely our self-worth on external things. So the self-worth must be coming from a pure place. Something that will never get touched, something that will never be tainted with. And that is our soul.